try to find somebody with a little bit of a sense of humor. Um, Everybody ends up going out with a boss babe at some point. You intentionally or unintentionally. Corporate lawyers, female executives, female professionals, doctors, attorneys, um, entrepreneurs. They've got 4 businesses. Some are MLMs, some are actually brick and mortar. And one thing that should be said is Bunny and I have talked about this, and there's a couple of outliers that I've met in the last 30 years, but generally, women don't build and run businesses alone. They always have a male figure somewhere in the background. Their father, a brother, an uncle, a mentor, a former boss. There's someone, their husband or boyfriend, their boyfriend manager. There's always a guy somewhere driving this forward. And the reason is fundamental. Men have to. We get up in the morning and we have to perform. We have to earn money. We have to lead from the front. We have to make things happen or they don't get done. Women are very much more want to. And Bunny is really good at explaining this. There's no have to with women. There's want to. Do I want to go into work today? Do I want to make that phone call? Do I want to send this email? And the question is, how do I feel about it? And like right now, we've taken twice as much time just talking about this. Then if a guy had made the decision, I'm going to make that phone call, and he picks up the phone. How do I feel about making this call right now? So only if she has the impetus of a male figure behind her, generally will she build a business. I've known 2 outliers. Bunny's one. I've seen her build 3 or 4 businesses with no input from me or any male figure that I was aware of ever. I mean, she just did it. Her dad's an entrepreneur. So either through modeling or through absorption or just internal drive. And I bought a gym one time from a girl who, with no backing, had built this gym up. I mean, there was no male figure whatsoever. And she had like 3 or 4 major business, chiropractic office, a couple of gyms, like a medical suite. And none of this, there's no men, no family, just literally just self-driven. Truly, if you describe it, it's absolutely insane. It'd be hard for even a man to do it. But again, there are outliers, but they tend to prove the rule that girls don't build businesses by themselves. So you have to know that there's always a guy in the background. Boss babe, how do you deal with it when you're dating them? Never bring up her work or career, especially on first or second date. They're going to want to talk about it. They're going to want to what do you do for a living? You tell her you're an MMA fighter. It doesn't matter. Tell her you just got out of jail that morning and you're unemployed, or you work the 3 to 11 at the gas station. It doesn't matter. Just tell her some off the wall thing because she wants to do a dick measuring contest and you're not interested. You're there to have a good time. So never talk about her work or career. Girls will go off on a tangent and then they're talking about their job that they hate. And then it's not good. It's like asking about somebody's divorce. You want to touch on it and then move on to something more interesting. But with boss babes, it's their identity when they're at work. But again, girls are much better about leaving work at work. Like if a girl's had a baby and she's healthy, you ask, what do you do for a living? They'll be like, oh, I'm a mom first. I'm a mom and then I'm an attorney, or I'm a mom and then I work here. So their identity is usually wrapped up in their relationship. I'm somebody's girlfriend. I'm somebody's wife. I'm a mom. And it's not that they are a pilot or that they, work for the city or anything like that. But it's best, don't ask. Treat her like a teenage girl. Treat her like she's about 17 or 18. Tease her. Keep it lighthearted. Make fun of her a little bit. Not too much. You have to, calibrate it. Tease her. Have fun. Tell her interesting stories, funny stories. stories that display you as somewhat high value, ask her about herself. And again, and I know this, a lot of these, you guys that are like really young, this is not on your radar, but if you're going out with girls with kids and you get stuck and you're like, God, I want to know things. What are we going to talk about? Anytime you need to buy time, ask a girl about her kids. And it will buy you time to find something more interesting to engage her, or feel like, if something's going on and you need to be able to mindlessly think for a little while, ask her about her kids, because women that are healthy are more enthusiastic about their children than anything else. And so that gives you time to think, get something going, or, make a quick text even, because they'll start talking. They just like blank out. But just know that boss babes want to submit to a high value male. The harder a girl works in the office, the less she wants to think about it when she gets home. And so if you can give girls like that break, like she goes, oh, fuck, I forgot about that meeting tomorrow morning, because they're having fun, then you're going to be the guy that she's texting, at 11 o'clock at night or 1 a.m. on a Saturday, or when she goes out with her friends and then she wants to swing by on her way home, because you're the fun guy. And boss babes need a fun guy in their life more than anything else. So just know that dealing with a boss babe, the number one thing you can do is not talk about work, not talk about career. If she does bring it up, and then change the subject and then move on. Again, they'll pick up the hint. And then after a while, they're like, you ask most girls or wives what their husband does, and they've been married for a few, I don't know. I don't have a single idea. I don't have a clue. He leaves in the morning. He comes home at night and there's money in the bank account. That's all I know. That's it. Or he works for his dad. That's the whole context. Women are not that interested in enterprise. They will be if necessary, but generally it's driven by a man that's behind the scenes. And when they are out with you, they don't want to talk about it. There's 1,000 other things that are far more interesting, including just hanging out with you. Stan the Milkman says the lazy eye line works still over in Australia. That's good. They always check or think that they have one, like they missed it for decades. That's funny. Lazy eye, because this is the thing. We always say no compliments, especially like with boss babes. You don't be impressed and go, oh, really? Did you? No reason for that, because it's nothing they're doing is that impressive. Probably because a lot of stuff gets handed to people. But if you don't compliment a girl, and I recommend no compliments, especially on basic appearance, until you're having sex with her for a few weeks, no compliments. It's just better. It's just safer. And then it has a little bit more impact and a little bit more weight. But they're going to, at some point, I almost saw this every time on a first date. They'd say, well, so, you're in there for over an hour. They'd be like, so what do you think? Because they're so used to guys falling over themselves on her appearance, or, just that they're like glad to be out with a girl, or the girl gave him a shot. It's just not a good dynamic. And they go, well, so, what do you think? Meaning, like, what do you think of the way you always go, well, you're cute and I like your lazy eye. And girls, like Stan says, they don't have a lazy eye, but it's funny. And they're, what the fuck? So just have a couple of lines. And I'm probably going to bring a book out about lines within the next 6 months that you can always go to, because girls are you're going to have the same conversation if you go out with 500 girls, you're going to have the same conversation about 480 times, almost to a T. You will find when you're going out with a lot of women, it's kind of like working with the general public. You start seeing commonalities. You start hearing the same phrases over and over again. Like, every girl that's ever been divorced, my husband was a narcissist. You can take it to the bank. You can bet on it. You can actually bet with your buddies on a first date, if she's divorced, at some point she'll say her husband is a narcissist, and you can win that bet every time. So it's things like that that you learn through experience. But the lazy eye line works, and it's a line, and you can use it in a few places, and it works enough to create a little bit of self-doubt. Like he says, they've lived their whole life knowing they don't have a lazy eye, but they'll check. So, you're dealing with girls. It's pretty fluid. We are out of time. Stan, I appreciate the questions and the interaction.